to UTV, it's Avery, and I am here with Betty and Micheal to interview them about the Beetlejuice Beetlejuice movie, which they just saw yesterday. So we're gonna have some fresh opinions and reactions to this new film. So guys, just right off the bat, I kind of want to know, leaving the theater, what was your initial impressions of the film?
In a word, interesting.
Okay.
It was very interesting. It did a lot of things that I was almost expecting, but there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting. Some of it worked, some of it I think didn't work, but it was an entertaining watch in the theater nonetheless.
All right, what about you, Betty?
Yeah, I feel entertaining too. I expect it has to be funny and goofy a little bit, because that's what I read from the review and trailer that I watched before going to the theater. And except from that part, there's just some part that make me a little bit uncomfortable, gross part, because I was eating just that, not just because of the content, but overall, I have never watched the original version before.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was fun to watch about this one, because I heard a lot about Beetlejuice, but never actually get into the story.
I'm curious to kind of see the perspective of someone seeing this because having, granted it's been a little while since I've seen the original, but have someone who has seen the original and who really likes the original, I feel like I couldn't help but just always be comparing it to that.
Right. No, I understand that. And actually, kind of along with that, a question I have for you, Micheal, is that, so the original one came out in 1988, and obviously we've had a lot of technological development in the film industry and everything since then, still by the same director, but was there anything that you noticed, more film technique-wise, that was really different? Did the CGI help in any ways? Was there anything new that Tim Burton tried to employ?
Not really anything new. I mean, Tim Burton has his very kind of unique style, which was very much on display in the first Beetlejuice. And Tim Burton was very much known for his practical effects. This one, I think there was definitely some stuff that you could tell stayed practical. There were some moments where you could tell that they had used CGI and some of the more digital effects. It didn't have the same effect as being able to see the full head and makeup and everything that you're used to seeing in the Tim Burton movie.
No, interesting. Just in a general sense, so Jenna Ortega is kind of new, to this Beetlejuice world. We have returners like Winona Ryder, and we've already discussed Michael Keaton. So how did she kind of fit into the movie? So I know she's supposed to be the daughter of Lydia, is my understanding. Yeah. Did she keep up with the cast? How was it?
So I think she fit in with the cast all right. I think her and Winona Ryder were great together. I was a little disappointed with how they chose to utilize her and their relationship in the story.
Did you have a similar opinion?
I feel the same. It's just so many subplots, and they don't cultivate deeper into it. So I just feel it's there. It's not solved yet. It's just the main plot solved. So it's not really satisfied. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
I want to know more about the ex-wife of Beetlejuice, background, what's happening, and she's just there and she hunt for Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Well, and then they at the end they get all the there's part of the movie it's constantly building little mini subplots and side characters and all this stuff going on. I think probably the only one that got a truly satisfying complete ending was the story between Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega.
So I think another question I have is just relative to other movies that have come out this year that you guys have seen, how does this one compare?
Okay, so I don't watch a ton, and the one I watch is different genre, so I don't know how to compare.
Right.
But if talking about how it stand out to me, this movie do not do it well, because I just watched it literally on Tuesday, and now I forgot most of the part. So I just remember the main thing that happening. It's just not really memorable compared to I watched Inside Out 3 times. So
Inside Out 2?
Yeah, Inside Out 2 I watched.
I think really the only parts that I strongly remember, or the only aspects of the movie that I remember vividly, were some of the moments where I was as I was thinking about it, after the movie and kind of thinking about the plot, and I was ooh, I'm not sure I like that. I'm not sure I like that. That was weird, what they did with that character and that character. It was like some of those moments that I think stuck with me the most, which is not necessarily a good sign. I don't think it's the most memorable parts of the movie were the ones that you're like thinking, why did they do that afterwards?
Right.
I just remember the part of the daughters because it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like she's literally in her like teenage romance stage, so just like funny to think about.
Yeah.
And another scene, just like the gross part with the baby Beetlejuice.
There's a baby Beetlejuice.
Now I remember what I gross about. That part's so gross.
I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about that.
That aside, for just like my final question, I just want to know, would you see this movie again? Do you recommend people go see it?
I don't know that I would see it again personally, but if you haven't seen it, definitely see it, and try to do so while it's in theaters because it is worth the theater experience.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing too because this is my first time watching it, but because it's like I feel like it's so popular here when you talk about Beetlejuice, so at least go there and like experience what it is. But from my first experience with the movie, I feel like it's fine. It's just not that memorable, but it's not like wasting money.
Would you
either.
watch the original now that you've seen it?
I might.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend everyone go watch the original
Yes.
1988 Beetlejuice because that is a really good movie. That is a movie that quite literally made Michael Keaton Michael Keaton.
Exactly. So I think we heard it. Watch the original, maybe watch the sequel. But this is our take today on Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, now in theaters.